Participants. So good afternoon, all the participants. Our expert has joined. Dr. Arul Anand is a professor in the Department of Surgery and Radiology, College of Veterinary Sciences, Guru Angad Dev Veterinary and Animal Sciences University, Ludhiana. Uh, Thank you so much for accepting our invitation, sir. We hope to learn from your extensive knowledge. You may please begin the session, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Should I start?
Yes, sir. Please start the session, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon, dear participants. So I'm Dr. Arun Anand. I'm working as a professor in Department of Veterinary Surgery since last 21 year, 22 years almost. So I'm working on mainly on dentistry, veterinary dentistry, as well as equine surgery, on surgery on horses. Just now, like an hour back, I did a surgery on horses, and now I'm here in front of you for the presentation. So this is basically the dental field is the new field in the veterinary patients. So it has been seen that during this lockdown period, the people, because the kids are at home most of the time, so they have now the parents, they started adopting the dogs, or they started buying the pets, and the most of the houses, they have pets for to play with the kids, because kids can't go out because there is a risk outside. So parents want that the kids should play in the home. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible. Please continue, sir.
Okay, so that's why the number of pets have increased. So the patients, they have also increased. And now I have seen since last 2 years, earlier too, I used to see a number of, like, our patients are increasing day by day. But since last 2 years, they have increased many-fold. So the people, they are more interested in now the luxury part. So dentistry in veterinary patient is a luxury aspect. So it's not a necessity, but in some of the patient, it's a necessity as well. So I'll tell you a few things, like because in dogs, they always, they hunt, or they tear the food and they crush the food, and then they ingest it. So if their mouth is there, some problem is there in the mouth, with the teeth, with the mandible, with the maxilla, then their feeding habit will be altered, and they will have indirect or direct or indirect effect on their health issues. So another thing is, whatever the pets they eat through their mouth. If there is some problem is there, or there is some infection is there in the mouth, so that infection likely to go inside, and they can go into the stomach, and ultimately through the intestine, that infection can go into the systemic circulation. And that, so we have seen the dogs which are having issues with the mouth, with have an infection inside the mouth. So those dogs, they can have heart problem, they can have liver issues, they can have kidney issues. So that's why the people, they started taking care of their oral health as well. So with the access, easy access to the internet, the people, they are now have a lot of access, they have a lot of knowledge to the for their pets, and they come across a number of things they want for their pets as well. So whenever they come to us, we have seen, especially the children, when they come to us, they bring us a lot of things in a printed form, that we want these things for our pets. And we are amazed that that awareness is there, and the people, they started spending the money on their pets. So that's why this field is no longer a luxury, now it's a necessity as well. So I'll be discussing regarding the additive manufacturing for dental prosthetics in veterinary patients. So earlier you might have seen, or if you have experience with the vet in your life, you might have seen that we as a doctor deal with a number of patients. It's not like a human doctor that deals with only either with kids or with the adult human, but we deal with the horses, we deal with the cows, we deal with the buffaloes, and our patient, 80% patients, they are pets. So that's why there is a lot of variation is there. So if you see that the size variation is there, anatomically there is a variation is there. So that's why we need this field, 3D printing or additive manufacturing. This is a very good tool, especially in the veterinary field, so that we can design and customize if we need some instrumentation. As a surgeon, I have to perform a number of surgeries, and sometimes in the market, some of the instruments or orthopedic instruments or dental instruments are not available, which is as per the size of our patient. So we have to customize. So that's why this additive manufacturing, this will help us to improve our post-operative care, post-operative efficacy, as well as minimize the post-operative complications. So like I'll be dealing with the dogs, because 80% of the patients, they are dogs and the cats which are come to our hospital, university hospital. So in the beginning, I want to give you some brief idea. So there are basically three type of skull is there in dogs. Basically, it can be a dolichocephalic, which is a long-headed. If you have experience with the dogs, you might have seen that there is a Great Dane is there, Saint Bernard is there, German Shepherd or Labrador. These are the very common breed in our society. So those are the dolichocephalic because they have a long-headed breed is there. Skull is quite bigger in size. Then there is a mesatocephalic. So this is the medium size. So there is like there's beagle is there, basset hound, cocker spaniels. So they are the mesatocephalic and medium sized breed, head is there. Then there is another breed which is very common, which is pug in our society, that belongs to brachycephalic and it's a short headed. Boxer also belongs to brachycephalic. Then there is a mastiffs are there, they also belongs to brachycephalic. So from outside, it looks that it's a long nose and it's a short nose, short-headed, or it's a medium-headed. But when we see inside the mouth, so there is a lot of differences there in the mandible, in the maxilla, in the placement of the teeth. So some of the teeth, just for example, in brachycephalic, some of the teeth they are placed in an overlapping position. But in a dolichocephalic long-headed breed, the teeth they are placed one adjacent to each other, just like in a human. And so that's why, so you can't pre-plan the surgery that this prosthetic instrument can be placed in this particular type of breed. So you have to judge and you have to customize. So that's why this field, I'll say, is a boon for our surgery department especially. So now that the vets, they are slowly turning to the additive manufacturing, 3D printing medical devices because of the cost saving and flexibility. Flexibility, that's what I already discussed. There is a flexibility is there. We can customize according to the size, according to the requirement. So I'll discuss that one as well later on, to create any desired shape due to variation in size, due to different breeds and as well as animals. So anything from implant to prosthetic to the tissue replacement can be produced in minutes and hours for a larger product. Means it can be 3D printed, metal 3D printed can be there, or bioprinting can also be done, tissue replacement as well. So that's here is the where we need hybridization. We need like handshake of the two field, the engineering field as well as the medical field. So there we can, so that's why our progress also depends upon that how we can assimilate your field in our field as well. So what is 3D printing? So I think each and everyone might be knowing that is a method of producing a physical object from a digital model by adding a succession of the thin layer of material. So there is a benefit is there. Probably there is some benefit, a lot of benefit we have seen. So first of all, the planning for the procedure for identifying the abnormality of damage. There are some issues are there before surgery. Sometimes, just for example, there is some cancer is there of the skull of the bone, and probably that cancer is invading into the brain tissue. And if we want to remove that portion which is bothering and is invading into the the brain. So beforehand, we can take a CT scan image and we can prepare a 3D printed model of that particular part. And beforehand, we can come to know that which structure will be coming across during surgery, and how we can tackle if there is any problem is there. Even the blood vessels or the nerves, they can also be printed at the same time, like in the model, and we can practice beforehand. So that will give us a better efficacy as well as a better approach to that particular organs. If we already know that what's there, what can be the problems when we go for surgery of that particular organ, then we can customize. As I already told you, the customization of the instruments and devices for use before procedure, creating a surgical incision templates as well. So there is basically what happens. So now our graduates, veterinary graduates are there. So there they need the cadavers, the dead animals, so that we can dissect, and we can tell them which structure is there. Dissection can be taken place. But now there are animal ethics committees are there, animal laws are there. So those people, they don't allow us to euthanize the dog, or the calf or the horse, so that we can make our student to study. So here the 3D printing can give us such a model, so that we can educate our budding doctors by using that models, so that we can make them understand the anatomy, physiology, as well as biochemistry of that particular organ. So we can produce the model for the bone replacement as well. So whenever the dogs, they are very much prone to the accident, and if there is the bone, especially the big bones, major weight bearing bones, they have a fracture and which are crushed, and that crushed portion can't be replaced. So we can print some part of the bone, and we can place in the place of that crushed bone, and which will help us in a proper healing and easy healing and quick healing, or we can say early healing as well. So it can help us to assessment of the tumor removal, which I'll give you the examples as well. So we can create the prosthetic devices as well in dentistry. So which is I'm working on this field, and this is a budding field, and we are planning with Dr. Rupinder a few innovative devices, so that we can put into the mouth, and which will help in the proper recovery, and the feeding management and feeding habit will not be altered, and ultimately the health issue will not be there post-operatively. So designing the orthopedic implant devices aid in the reconstruction surgery. So main thing is that it helps to decrease the surgery time. So in our surgery field, it is a very well known that if the surgery time is smaller, then the chances of recovery is better, then chances of post-operative complication is minimum, and even the animal under anesthesia will be for less time. So that's why the complication, because anesthesia, whatever the anesthesia, gas anesthesia we are giving to knock down the animal, so that anesthesia have some side effect on internal organs. So more the anesthesia will give, more the internal organs will be under stress. So that's why if we use this 3D printed, the surgery time will be less, the anesthesia time will be less, so which will be a benefit for animal as well, and that also decrease the risk of infection as well. So this is probably the 3D printing and its application in veterinary surgery. So this is the video. So this is the 3D printed devices. I think
video is not coming up, sir.
So volume is not coming.
Pardon?
Sir, the audio of this particular video is not coming up, sir.
Volume is not in.
Sir, do you wish to share the audio?
So like it's a self-explanatory. It's a self-explanatory. Okay, you can see that the particular organ has been scanned and it has been printed in the 3D printing machine. So it is being printed in the 3D printing machine. So it's a self-explanatory. Volume is low from backside as well. Hello.
Yes, sir. Sir, you can just click on this cross.
Yeah, it has
Your
stopped.
PowerPoint
Probably
just
there is a problem with the videos as well. So the videos, what I'll do is all the videos I'll show you in the end, so that I can first let me finish my the PowerPoint, and then one by one I'll show you the videos as well.
okay, sir. Perfect, sir.
Okay.
Sir, you might have to open your presentation file again.
You have opened up my presentation?
No, no, sir. You will have to open it up because it got closed. The
Yeah,
program.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I don't know, like there is a problem is there. Whenever I open up the video, the presentation stops. So what I'll do is I'll finish my presentation and then I'll show you all the videos.
Okay, sir. Sir, the reason could be that the videos are making the presentation file a bit heavy.
Yeah,
That is why it is closing.
probably that might be the reason. Because there are number of videos are there, so that's why it's making a problem. So I'll show you the videos later on then. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. We are on the title slide, sir.
Yeah, title slide. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so there is some educational impact as well, which I already told you that the 3D printed models of the bones, they can also be created by using. Let me do the pen as well. This, yeah. 3D model of the bones that can also help the student to learn the procedure and to gain the required surgical skills. 3D models of replication of animals with skull injuries or deformities, they are being used to improve the student training as well. So models, they can offer the opportunity to practice the surgical procedure, which I already discussed in the beginning. So these are the positive part of 3D printing in our field as well. So these are the few universities which are already working on 3D printed for vets. So these are the all US universities, and probably in our country this field is coming up, and hopefully our university and NITR as well, in combination or in collaboration, is going to start this work in our field as well. So how the model is prepared, this is almost the same. Each and every engineer might be knowing that the part which is to be which is to be replicated is scanned, and ultimately it will be printed in the bioprinter or the metal printer as well. So I'll show you the video as well later on. So let's come to the 3D printed printing for the dental application of the veterinary field. So when we see the skull of the dog, so there are few there is a maxilla. This one is the maxilla, and this is the mandible. The same like our human, upper one is the maxilla, lower one is the mandible, and there are some teeth are there. So this is the canine teeth, and this one, if you see, these are bigger teeth, premolar fourth, and underneath this is also bigger one. You can see this is a premolar, upper premolar fourth premolar, upper one maxillary, and behind this will be the molar one of mandible. So these are the teeth which are mostly involved in tearing the food and for crushing the food. So that's why we call it as a strategic teeth. Strategic teeth are those teeth which the dogs, they use most of the time to crush the food and to ingest it. and to so that they can the animal can ingest it. So if there is any problem is there, if suppose because you might be have an experience that dogs sometimes they fight with each other, or there is some dental caries they also develop in dogs as well. So if there is a fight is there, or even sometimes the dogs, their habit of crushing the stones or the rocks as well. So it means like whenever they crush, they use these type of these three teeth, canine, a premolar fourth of maxilla, and molar one of mandible. So whenever they crush it, sometimes there is a fracture of the teeth is there, or that leads to the exposure of the pulp cavity. And when the pulp cavity is exposed, so that becomes a painful lesion. And even the infection that can travel, that can go up to the root from the exposed part of the pulp cavity, and it can go into the roots as well. Ultimately, infection can settle down, and we have to take out that teeth. In order to save the life of animal, we have to take out the teeth, otherwise infection will keep on going into the bone as well. So if the teeth is extracted, it means the strategic teeth is lost. And once the strategic teeth is lost, it means animal will not able to it will not able to eat the hard food like a chicken or the bones. They can't eat the proper because this is the food they like it. It means they have to eat the milk or the bread or the chapatis or the vegetables. They have to eat the soft food only. So that can have, especially the racing dogs are there, or some dogs which they have kept for the show purpose. So that dogs can have a health issues. Their weight loss can be there, and the proper buildup of the animal is not there. So here the 3D printing will help to restore this particular teeth. So they can help to restore this canine tooth, can help to restore this strategic teeth as well. So this is my idea to show you the anatomy, that here the dental prosthetic is going to help us a lot after 3D printing of dental implants. So this is the first step which we perform at our place. So we take the impression of so this is all procedure they are done under general anesthesia. So under general anesthesia, we have special dental trays are there. It's not like a human trays or dentist is using. We have designed the special dental trays, and we have impression material. If you see, there is a yellow material is there inside. So this is the impression material. Ultimately, we put some dye stone, and this is the same replica of the mouth that we can create. And this replica of the mouth, suppose there is a fracture is there. Suppose there is a fracture of right upper canine tooth fracture is there, and we want to apply some dental implant. We'll take impression, and we can take the impression of the opposite side teeth. Okay, and we can scan, and this teeth can be scanned, and ultimately a dental implant can be created using 3D printed, and which we can apply on the animal, and this will help to restore the function of that particular already lost teeth. So this is the upper premolar fourth, and this is the molar one of mandible. And these are the crowns which were the 3D printed, or I'll say casting has been done. So these are the crowns which we are going to apply on our clinical cases after extracting the tooth. So this is how we are doing. So if there is any problem is there, if they suppose this teeth is having some issues with the pulp cavity, and then we perform RCT, root canal treatment of that particular teeth, and after that we apply the dental crown. So this dental crown is 3D printed, metal 3D printed, and it can be applied on the tooth as well. So these dental implants, they are being put on police dogs, on army dogs, or some other paramilitary dogs are there. So where sometimes police dogs, especially in US, what they do is the dogs which are for to catch any criminal. So sometimes the dogs they bite or they hold a particular criminal, and with the jerky movement of the criminal, the teeth can break. So in order to avoid that breakage, because their dogs are very costly, they have trained the dog and they have particular training, and that costs a lot. So they don't want that they should lose that dog because of the fracture of the tooth. So as a prophylactic means beforehand they apply the dental crowns, that if there is a with force or with the jerky movements of the criminal, the teeth may not broke away, and we may not, we should, so that the animal should live for a longer life as a service dog. We call it as a service dog. So in order to avoid that fracture, before they go for application of such type of crowns. So 3D printing can also be done. This is a maxillary bone defect is there. So if you see, there is one bone, there is a growth is there, big growth is there. So in this dog, what we have to do is, like, we have to take out a part of maxilla. So when a part of maxilla or bone was taken out or excised off, so so there is a defect is there, there is some gap is there. In order to fill up that gap, so 3D printed material, this was a 3D printed material which was put or which was applied surgically on that maxilla. Over that, it was the tissue was sutured, and that helped in proper healing as well. Here you see the same dog which was having a tumor, a round circle, and this is the big tumor. And this tumor was, here you see, when we opened up mouth, this is a big tumor, and this big tumor, we did the surgery. You see the comparison. If you compare this photo and this photograph, you see that the growth is excised, and that particular 3D printed, it was applied over here underneath this tissue, and this helped in quick healing, and the post-operative complication is minimum. So this is another case in which there was basically the mandible cancer was there, mandible cancer in a dog. One side mandible was having a cancer, and which was totally decalcified, or we say osteolytic changes, lysis has happened. So that part of the mandible was removed, and 3D printed device that was applied on that side, and this helped in dog a lot, and animal was able to eat, able to drink, and was happy after the surgery as well. So this was a particular which I want to show you. This is a basically osteosarcoma. This is osteochondroma, we call it. This is basically a cancer, malignant cancer. So this has happened on the teeth, and when X-rays and CT scan was done, and it was seen that it was invading the bone, but it has not gone into the brain. So what the problem was, that when we remove that part of the brain, the sinuses, underneath sinuses were exposed. So we can't keep the sinuses open. So we have to cover with some prosthetic device. So this was the prosthetic device which was designed before surgery. And if you see, so during surgery, that prosthetic device was applied, and this is a radiograph of a CT scan as well as X-ray. And you see that prosthetic device was applied on the skull after removal of the cancer. So the skull was protected, so that infection should not go into the sinuses as well. So this helped in early recovery with minimal complications. So this is another that video which I'll show you later on. This is another video. So this was a dog which was having a problem in this was basically in America, video from America. It was this dog met with a severe accident, and the upper part of the skull, this skull, and this part of the nose, it was totally crushed, and survivability chances of recovery was minimum. So there was no any device which we can or implant which we can put on the bone, because it was like a powder. Bone was like a powder. So with 3D printed, so exoskeleton, outside skeleton was prepared, and this exoskeleton was applied on the face of the dog. So that exoskeleton helped in the healing of the fractured bone inside. Basically, what is the idea? Idea is that whenever the fracture happens, if we minimize the movement of the fracture fragment, the healing takes place. So this was the exoskeleton which was applied in order to minimize minimize the movement of the fracture fragment. So that led to healing. So ultimately animal recovered uneventfully. So this was basically in dogs. This was basically in dogs. I'll show you some videos later on as well for the dogs as well. But this 3D printed is not limited to the dogs. This can be applied in our birds as well, in zoo animals as well. Now there are some, because the wildlife tourism is very common in India. So people, they come from other countries to have a look into our wildlife. Tigers, lions, rhinoceros are there, hippopotamus are there, which are exclusive in our country. White tigers are there, and lions, especially the gir is there in Gujarat. So there, the tigers. So people, the tourists, they come from outside, out of other countries, and to have a look into our wildlife. So this 3D printing can also help in saving our birds as well as our wildlife as well. So in 3D printed in wildlife, especially birds and exotic animals, especially this will be related to the dentistry as well, because the beaks, if you might be having a knowledge, the birds, they have a beak, and if the beak is lost, then that particular bird will not able to eat the food properly and ultimately will die. So 3D printed beaks have been applied on birds, so which help in restoration of their normal feeding. So ultimately the bird survived, and that led to their longevity in their life as well. So this is a beautiful bird, toucan. This is the name of the toucan bird, and this is a video of a duck as well. So basically, what happened? That video, I'll show you the duck video as well later on. So this is a great hornbill, which was having a cancer of its upper beak. Cancer of its upper beak, from here to here, there was a cancer was there, hornbill cancer. So ultimately surgeon has to remove that part in order to save the animal. So once that beak portion is removed, so that bird will not able to eat properly. So ultimately what happened, a 3D printed beak was applied on, and so animal started eating its grain, bird started eating its grain and was healthy. So this, you can look how the beneficial this 3D printed is there. So we can print the prosthesis and we can apply on that particular bird or on other wildlife animals as well. So this was a 3D printed beak was there, which was applied, and this is the same bird after application of 3D beak. And I'll show you the video as well. After application of that beak, bird was eating its grain properly. So this was the video. So this is the 3D printed beak of great hornbill. It's available in India. It's there in our university campus. A lot of hornbills are there. So this is toucan, which has injured its upper beak. So it's a long, beautiful bird. Like I have shown you this is the same bird which I have shown you in the beginning. This one, toucan. So it has lost its beak. You can say it's lost its beak, and 3D printed beak was applied by the surgeons, and that bird was healthy and was able to live its life without any complication. So same thing, eagles. So you might be having, if you are watching the Animal Planet, you can say that eagles, they are carnivorous. They eat the meat, they eat the flesh. So with the help of beak, so you can see that the beak is curved. This one is curved, and this help in tearing the flesh. So when you can see in this injured bird, this beak is lost. When beak is lost, animal is not able to tear the flesh. So it's not able to eat the meat properly. So it's a carnivorous. They can't eat the other thing. So 3D printed beak was applied, and the animal was able to eat its normal food without any difficulty. So this is a penguin. This is a case in New Zealand Zoo, which has lost its leg. it's lost its leg, and 3D printed leg was applied on the penguin, and it was able to walk using that particular same. There is a secretary bird is there in Germany, in which 3D printed leg was applied. Otherwise, animal would have slowly and slow death would have happened, but 3D printed has saved the life of this bird. Same, this is the buttercup, name of the duck, which has lost its leg. So if you have the experience of watching the Animal Planet, you might be knowing that the duck, they swim a lot, and there is a web their foot is webbed, and this webbed foot helps them in swimming. So if the leg is lost, so their webbed leg is lost, ultimately they are not able to swim, because they maintain their body temperature by keeping themselves in water. And if they can't swim in the water, so slowly and slowly what happens, they will not able to maintain their body temperature, and they will die. So 3D printed webbed claw was applied, or foot was applied in this buttercup. Buttercup is the name on the duck, and that duck was able to swim. This is the same duck, video of this same. So I'll show you. So same thing in reptile world, birds. So you'll be amazed to know that in India as well, reptiles as pet is being kept in the house as well. There is a gecko lizards are there. Even turtles, tortoise, they are also being kept as a pet in. These pets were very common in third world, in Western countries. But those same thing is coming in our Indian society as there, because the size of the house, they are getting shorter, smaller. So in order to have a pet in a smaller house, they started shifting to reptile birds. They have started rearing or keeping the gecko lizards or tortoise as their pets. So here in pets, like the tortoise, this is a tortoise. What happened there, because of the fire in jungle, in Brazil, there was basically the shell was damaged with the fire. So once there is exoskeleton, endoskeleton is there. So our human or in the animals are like dogs or the cats or the horses or humans, they have endoskeleton, means skeleton is inside the body. But in tortoise, it's exoskeleton, means outside skeleton is there. So this is basically skeleton, shell is skeleton. So whenever there is some danger is there, ultimately what will happen, the skull, tortoise will enter into that skull, so that the enemy can't attack, can't eat that particular animal, and the life is saved. But if the shell is lost, ultimately is prone to the attack to the other animals, and secondly they are prone to infection as well. So in order to overcome such problem, you can see 3D printed shell was applied on that particular tortoise, and this helped to save the animal of it helped to save the life of that particular animal. Same thing, 3D printed shell was applied on another tortoise as well. So this is a video in which 3D printed leg was applied on the turtle. And earlier the turtle was not able to walk properly, but after application of 3D printed limb, the turtle was able to walk. So this is the video. This is another gecko lizard. So you will be amazed to know that this gecko lizard is a very good pet. And now the people, they are keeping this lizard as a pet in their home. And now it's not common in India, but in metro towns and metro cities, this has come up. Slowly and slowly it will come in other smaller cities as well. But these type of pets are very common in Western countries. And because that lizard has lost its limb and was not able to walk properly, and 3D printed limb bioprinting was done, and this limb was applied, and an animal was able to walk, and this lizard was able to walk. This is a very interesting story, and this story came in National Geographical Channel as well. So this is basically an alligator which lost its tail. Alligator is basically like a crocodile. It's a crocodile family. And you might have seen that the crocodiles that remain in the water most of the time, they are basically amphibians. They can live in the water, they can live in land as well. So for laying their eggs, they come in the land, but for most of the life, they remain inside the water. For water helps them to maintain the body temperature. They are basically cold-blooded. They're basically cold-blooded, so they have to maintain. It's not we are hot-blooded species, so we can maintain our body temperature. So we don't have any problem in winter or summers. But these type of cold-blooded animals, they have a problem in winter time. Winter time they go for hibernation. They go into the water, deep into the water, so that again maintain their body temperature. So tail is the main organ which help them to swim and live in water. Once the tail is lost, and if the tail is lost, and what will happen, they will not go into the water, they can't swim, they can't maintain their body temperature, and ultimately that can compromise their life, and ultimately animal is going to die. So this was the story which was telecasted in National Geographical Channel. So 3D printed tail was applied on that particular alligator. You can see 3D printed, and it has been seen that animal was able to use its 3D printed tail and was able to swim, and was able to, the surgeons were able to save that life of that particular endangered. This is an endangered species. So if we can contribute towards the saving of our endangered species, this is also our contribution towards society. This is also a contribution to our nation. So because wildlife tourism is there, it's very common, and India, a lot of revenues come from wildlife revenues, wildlife tourism. So if we are able to save these animals, then that's going to help in building up of that wildlife tourism. So this was, and this is a very interesting story. Basically, these are the rhinos. These rhinos are very, very common in Kaziranga National Park. If you have heard the Kaziranga National Park in Assam. So they are tourism. This is the world's only place where these rhinos are found. Nowhere in the world rhinos are found. Some part of Nepal they might be having rhinos, but the population of rhinos in Kaziranga National Park is a huge population is there. So the government is maintaining this animal for tourism. Many people from outside countries, they come to have a glimpse of or look into this rhinos or take photographs. But what happened? Unfortunately, their poaching is there. Poaching means they are killing. Some poachers are there which kill this animal for this horn. This horn is having a medicinal value. Chinese people, they use this horn in their medicines, and it's a very costly horn. So that's why some of antisocial elements, what we call as a poachers, so they kill this particular animal and will cut this horn and will sell in to Chinese people, and they will use it in the medicines. So that's why their life of this particular animal, or sorry, number of this particular animal is going down, although the government is taking care, and now the poaching has decreased. But 3D printing can be the solution to this poaching. How? I'll tell you that this 3D printing, what can be this horn can be 3D printed. We know the DNA, we know the structure, so we know the structure of that particular horn. So this horn can be bioprinted using the material which is there inside so this horn can be bioprinted, can be supplied to the Chinese medicine people, and they can use that bioprinted horn, and thus we can save the life of this precious animal. So this is how this bioprinting, or we can say 3D printing, can help even in saving the life of our endangered species. So that we can at least we can show these animals to our future wild animal to our future generations. Otherwise, they'll read only in books only that there used to be some rhinoceros in India. But 3D printed can be solution to save such poaching. So this was basically for mostly for the maxilla, for the dental. Now there is some other, like I'll be going for other topics as well. So there is some 3D printing can be done in for other part of the of dogs as well. So this is basically to start with, just for excuse me. In the beginning, I'll be telling you something about the anatomy. This is the hind leg. Basically, the dogs, they have 4 legs, 2 front leg and 2 hind legs. This is a hind leg, and this hind leg, this is the pelvis bone, and this is a femur bone. And here is a small structure. If you see, this is the patella, and this is one is tibia, and this one is the lower part of the limb. So there are a number of things they happen. Especially, this is another view. This is from the front. This is from the side. This is from the front. This is from the inner side, and this is from the behind. From behind. So there are a number of problems are there in which this is a hip joint, which I'll be talking today, where 3D printing can help us a lot. So this is a hip joint. So this is a ball and socket joint basically. And there should be a proper congruence should be there. The ball should properly fit into the socket of hip bone. So if that ball of the femur doesn't fit properly into the hip bone, so that ultimately leads to dislocation of this joint. Hip joint will be dislocated. Basically, this joint will be dislocated. So animal will not able to walk properly. So here what happens, because this is a genetic problem, normally it's a hereditary problem, and once it starts, it continues, and it's a progressive problem. So slowly and slowly animal will stop walking. Ultimately the life become miserable, and the animal will not able to walk and run properly, and it will be more painful as well. So here what happens, hip prosthesis can be there. This is an X-ray. Basically, this is an X-ray. This is the anatomy of the hip joint. This is a hip joint. Here is the femur bone. As the same X-ray of the same. If you see, this is the ball of the same. This one and this one is the same structure. This one and this one is the same structure. Okay, so normally, so here you say it's a proper congruence is there, ball is fitting into the socket properly, but sometimes there is some problem is there. Here you see the ball is outside the socket, this ball, and here is the socket, so it's outside the socket. It means that animal will not able to use this joint properly, and if not able to join properly means will not able to walk. So here 3D printed, here you see the socket, the ball is outside the socket. Whole of the ball is outside the socket. Okay, here 3D printed device has been put, and another ball was printed by this metal printing was done, and this was put into the socket, and ultimately animal was able to walk and use its hip joint properly. So this is how where the 3D printing will help us. So we have to customize, because size of the dog varies. The dog can be small dog like 3 to 4 kg Chihuahua can be there, or 80 kg, 90 kg Great Dane or Saint Bernard can be there, or even 60 kg Mastiff can be there. So you have to customize. So if you have to customize, then 3D printing is the only solution to such problems. So this is how you can say this is the 3D printed ball and socket. So this part will go into the femur, and this part will go into the acetabulum or on the socket, and ultimately it will be it will go in, will perform the surgery and fit that joint into the bone properly, and animal will able to use that limb and will able to walk, and this will lead to pain-free life. So this is what our motto is, that our pets should remain pain-free. So this here, the 3D printed can help the surgeon, can help. So these are the few 3D printed prosthetic devices are there. So these are the 3D printed prosthetic devices are there. So these are the few other examples of 3D printed prosthetic devices which can be used in hip joints. So there is another stifle joint. Stifle joint is the joint which is below the hip joint. So there is a one problem is there. If you see this small, if you see here, X-ray, these are the X-ray, this one and this one. These are the small patella bones are there. We do have a patella in the middle of the stifle joint. But if these patellas, they move towards abnormal position, if you see red arrows, the patellas, they have moved into the abnormal position. They are not in its normal position. So animal will not able to use it. If you see, here is small structure, if you see, this is patella, which is in its proper position. And if this patella moves here in this position or move outside to this position, then animal will not able to use its that particular joint properly. And stifle is used by the animal a lot. If there is no stifle is not working properly, then chances are there animal will not able to walk properly. So here the prosthetic devices can be. This is the video. I'll show you how the animal. This is a pug breed. So how the animal will move if they're having a patella luxation is there. So here the prosthetic device. These are the prosthetic devices which we can 3D printed using the metal 3D printed, which can be applied on the joint. And this is the place where the patella will be resting and animal will walk normally. So here, if you see, this is a radiograph of the prosthetic device. So this is how we place that 3D printed implant, I'll say, into the stifle joint, which will help us, or I'll say help the animal to live happily. So this was about the few things where which I'll be stressing that where the veterinary field can help us. So I'll be showing you some videos as well. So I'll be showing you some videos. Uh, if you see alligator, let me show you the video of alligator first. So this was alligator. This is an alligator. Are you able to see the video?
So we are able to see the video, but not the audio. Is it okay if the audio is not coming up? Or I can help you.
That's not a problem.
Okay.
So this is the, you can say alligator has lost its teeth. It's a tail, and it has been 3D printed. You can see there is special cameras are there, or CVCT is there, which will create a file. So this is the 3D printed tail was applied on that alligator. And now that alligator is swimming using that prosthetic tail. So this is. So this was basically a beak of this beak of the duck has been lost, and yeah. If you see the bird, it has lost its beak and the tongue is hanging outside. So animal was not like this bird was not able to eat properly. No, you can see they can like the bird was not able to eat its grain. So the 3D printed beak was applied. Now you can say, anesthesia was given, and the beak. Now the same bird with the prosthetic beak was able to eat its grain and its food properly. The duck. This is a duck which was lost its limb and was not able to walk. See, was the hard time in walking, and 3D printed limb was applied. Now is able to walk. And now, like you can see, the same bird is swimming. Same bird is swimming. This is the video of the Dachshund dog, which was having a cancer of the head, of the maxilla, cancer of the. So you can see, I already discussed with you. So this guy was having a cancerous skull tumor, and this part was removed. So this tumor, light tumor, was going into the head as well. So chances are there that the brain can be exposed or sinuses can be exposed. So beforehand, there was a 3D printed model was created, so that if we can come to know, the surgeon can come to know that what can be the complication and what prosthetic device need to be applied on that defect created after surgery. So this was the prosthetic device which was applied on the defect which was created after the surgery. Now after surgery, you can see the shape. Now the tumor has been removed, and that prosthetic device has been applied, implant has been applied, and the shape of the face has changed a lot. So here the 3D printed metal printing can help us in our field as well, to save the animal life. So here is the rhino poaching, which I was discussing, that in Kaziranga National Park, the people they poach this animal for Chinese medicine purposes, so that they can have have their horn. So we can save the life by 3D printing of that particular animal. So now you can see like how the game changer this can be. So like if the poaching continues, this particular animal is going to be extinct in 2025. But we can use this technology to supply similar horns to the Chinese medicine people, and we can save the animal life or endangered wildlife. So so there is another is the patella luxation. So this is a patella luxation. I told you that patella, which is in the stifle joint, and when it moves towards abnormal position, then the animal can't walk properly. See how the animal walk with the abnormal patella. You can see animal is not able to walk. Here, when we apply some prosthetic device, in this stifle joint, then animal will able to walk properly, will able to use its limb properly. So this is all for my presentation. So if you have any query, please let me know.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, please, Pradhan, sir, please
Good
continue with
afternoon.
your question.
Sir, one question is in chat box. What kind of biomaterials are best suited for 3D printing of body parts in animals?
What type of biomaterials are suited for 3D printed body parts in animals? Yes. So basically, there are basically two types of biomaterials can be used. It can be metal can be used, or it can be bioprinter as well, bioprinted as well. So just for example, in dentistry, which I already talked with you, here the titanium, stainless steel, different grade of stainless steel, titanium, nickel, cobalt combination. So that can also be used. So basically, we should use that material which is biocompatible. So we can use any material which is biocompatible. Biocompatible means like which animal, where our body or animal's body doesn't react. So that is a biocompatible. So it has been seen that titanium or the stainless steel, different grade of stainless steel, or nickel titanium, nickel cobalt combination. So this can be used for printing the body parts as well.
Okay, dear participants, if any query, please direct ask to the expert, or you can chat in the chat box.
Yes, participants, any questions? Sir, we have a question in the chat box.
Sir, what is bio
What is bio ink? Bio ink. Bio ink are basically, these are not used for any as an implant. These are basically used to to highlight a particular organ. Basically, these are not implant. Basically, they help in diagnosis. Just for example, if we want angiography of a heart, if we want to see that chamber size of the heart is increased or decreased, is there any abnormality is there, is there any tumor is developing, is there any other abnormality of the chamber inside the chamber is there, then we put some contrast medium into the blood, and that contrast medium goes into the heart, and that is going to highlight, will give us a very good picture, inside picture of that heart. So that's a basically bio ink. So that will help in a basically diagnosis, not as a bioprinting. So that is the bio ink, means like the material which we can put into the inside the body to find out the definitive diagnosis.
Excuse me, sir. Yes, good afternoon, sir. Sir,
afternoon.
my question is that whenever we are 3D printing a beak for birds, for wild birds, so can these birds be let out in the wild again? Can they survive?
Yeah, they can survive, and it has been seen that they are living happily, and they are living with, because the ducks, you can say, they always remain in flocks. They can't live a solitary life. They can't live in a single bird. You will only see bird. They will be in flocks. So basically, they are social birds. Social. They live a social life. So you can't keep. So after application of the beak, so surgically we apply the screws, and so we apply the wires, and we fit them so you can say correctly, and that they can eat the food, they can drink the water, and they can live life happily without any problem.
Sir, one question is in chat box.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, one question is in chat box.
Which material good? Titanium? Yeah, titanium or stainless steel. So out of these two, there is pros and cons of both the materials there. No doubt titanium is better than stainless steel if you go for strength, if you say go for, because titanium is lightweight as compared to the stainless steel, and they have better strength as compared to stainless steel. But the problem is the cost. So cost, like titanium is most costly than stainless steel. But the part where stainless steel can work, we should use stainless steel. But if you want more strength with less weight, we should opt for titanium.
Dear participants, if you are having any questions, please unmute and ask directly.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in as you were telling about that they have dogs suffer cancer, and because of that there is a deterioration in the skull bones and in the skull. So, sir, whenever we are, I mean, we are replacing a bone. So, with any material that has been made by any material. So, what is the effect? Can they will they be deteriorated again by the same kind of disease? What are the effects on that?
Probably, basically, this is a more surgery question, I'll say. So, as a surgeon, what we do, we do palliative surgery. What we do is, so suppose there is a tumor is there. So, we remove along with the part of the cancer, we remove the healthy part along with it so that it should not reoccur back. Okay, so whatever the biomaterial or whatever the implant we put on that particular defect, so that is a biocompatible, so that the body is not going to react to that particular material. So that's why in future post-operative we say complication is minimum. So normally what happens, the life of the dog is around 13 to 15 year of age. Some dogs, they might go up to 17 year, but that's a rare. So these type of cancer, they normally happen around 9 year of 10 year or 8 to 10, in between 8 to 10 year of age. So whatever the life is left life is 4 year or 5 years. So this biomaterial that works really well for rest of the life. So that why it has been seen that using this biomaterial, whatever the life is whatever the life is left, so that is quite healthy and the animal is happy without any complication. So we can compare before surgery and after surgery the life of that animal. Before surgery it was quite painful, and after surgery there is no pain, there was no complication. So that's why animal, whatever the animal life is left, at least that becomes pain free.
Again, I am requesting the participants.
Yes.
Please unmute and ask questions. I think no such questions will arrive. So,
I thank, I do thank NITR as well, and special thanks to Dr. Rupinder and SR Pradhan. So because they have given me the chance to interact with a different field person, specialist in different field persons, so that I can give them ideas that how your field can help us in our field. Okay, so I really, again, I'm going to thank NITR, especially NITR, to give me a chance to present my myself in front of these engineers and technicians as well, technical persons as well.
Excuse me, sir. One question is application is there in ChatBox. Is there any example of 4D printing being used clinically?
Probably the 4D printing, I don't have any personal information or I'll say or experience. But once I'll start, because I think probably I'm doubtful whether such type of facility is still available in India or not. But personally, I don't have any experience. But 3D printing, I have used. I can say that it is a wonderful technology which is going to revolutionize. Means there can be a lot of revolution is going to happen in our field using 3D printing. But 4D printing, once it will come, once I'll use in our field, then I can comment on that particular field.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you for an informative and session which has already covered both 3D printing of that is bioprinting and plastic thermoplastic, biocompatible thermoplastic printing or biocompatible metal printing. Very nice and informative session, sir. Sir, thank you from NITR side on behalf of Rupinder sir. So the dear participant, the next session will be started at sharp 2:30 p.m. So from now, we are ending this session, sir.
Okay. Okay then.